Okay, we're there. So good to see you all at LinkedIn for Breakfast. Wonderful, wonderful to be embarking upon this sales navigator journey today. The good, the bad, the ugly, and all the reasons why you should or should not be using it. Also, here's a fun thing. I'm not just going to show you Sales Navigator. I'm also going to show you a LinkedIn automation tool as well. So a little bit of a naughty little cheeky tool that will beautifully kind of conjoin Sales Navigator to LinkedIn automation as well. So we'll be doing a little bit of that to kind of spark up your morning. 45 minutes, that's all, guys, of a little bit of marketing madness. That's what we do here at LinkedIn for Breakfast. Before I get started, though, most of you guys will probably remember that I just like to go over what's our mission, what's the point of me doing this stuff, what's my sinister plan. Well, we want to help you basically unlock the full potential of LinkedIn as a powerful platform for both business development, that's getting the phone ringing and inbox pinging with leads, lead generation stuff, and the brand expansion, which is the more the do people recognize you? Do people know what you're all about? Do people know actually that Keith is all about GDPR and data protection? Do people actually know that Rich is all about LinkedIn business growth, helping people to get to 1 million in revenue? Do they know that? Are they aware of that when they see your profile? Or are they just like, oh, I'm not quite sure what you do, you know? So that's the brand. We want to expand the brand to get recognition, both as your personal and also as your business. So the personal brand is just as important on LinkedIn, if probably more important. And the business development stuff is actually let's get some leads from doing this. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point? Cool. And our vision is to make this the best place on earth to learn LinkedIn for my favorite number. Keith, what's my favorite number? Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, got it. I should know it by now, shouldn't I? It's free, Richard. Free.
3 is my favorite number. Thank you, Keith. Thank you. Good, right. And also, I'm horribly cheesy, so I do apologize for this, gang, but hopefully it sparks a little bit of fun into your mornings. Right. So, if you want to have more of these awful dad jokes, it's a Christmas cracker a day, 365 days of the week, of the year, even. We've got LinkedIn for Breakfast, which is our school community. It says 3.2 thousand members on this screenshot, but actually we are over 5,000 members now. Do jump into this. It's totally for free. So 5,000 members here. And in the community, we have things such as the replays that we put up. We also have a pod. So if you want to get more likes and comments on your stuff, then go down here and you can post a link to your the thing that you're promoting, and then people will like and comment on it, and you can see it's all in here, and you're getting nice reactions to what we're doing, which is great. And also we can celebrate. So Peter, congratulations, you hit 3,000 followers on LinkedIn. Awesome. So this is great. And we can basically scratch each other's backs. That's what we like to do here. And there's loads of stuff in the classroom, free training, and there's a calendar of events that we do. Right. So there's all the niceties, all the kind of housekeeping over and done with. So Sales Navigator, right? What I'm going to start off with is a little bit more of thesis. I want to jump onto the whiteboard of truth and justice and just lay out what the game plan is and why we would do this, right? So whenever we're thinking about trying to do any type of marketing, many of you be aware that we're a big advocate for this awareness into consideration, into convert, into deliver. What do I mean by this? Is the awareness piece is we need to be able to make a list of people that we want to be able to make aware of us, right? So we want to find a target audience and we want to go and connect with them. We want to then message them. We want to put content out to them. And we want to be able to like and comment on their stuff, right? So we want to be abundant in these people's worlds. Why? Because all of this activity, the messaging, the connecting, the commenting, the content that we're putting out, we want to lead people into what we would call our consideration stage. So they become aware of you, then we want them to consider you, right? That consider piece is when they read, watch, listen to a long form piece of content that shows that you're the thought leader within your industry, someone that is worth listening to, someone that's got something to say, right? And so we always talk about having a weekly moment, right? And if you don't have a weekly moment, if your week lacks its moment, its figure place, its crescendo, its focal point, then you will miss out on being able to gather all of these people who might be connecting and are just kind of aware of you. You're probably, well, and I say you're, I use the royal you, like not specifics, but most people I speak to go from trying to connect to people to basically pitch slapping them and going, hey, do you want to go and have a sales meeting and come and buy some of my stuff, right? Which is the convert and into deliver, right? So that is where we start to actually go and sell stuff, right? So we don't want to do this awareness straight into do you want to buy my stuff, the sales meeting. We want to warm them up a bit. We want to flirt with them. We don't want to ask them to marry us on our first connection. We want to bring them along to something of long form. We see this as being either a podcast, so you could launch a weekly podcast, you could do an event like I'm currently doing now, a weekly event, you could have a newsletter that you send out. LinkedIn newsletters are awesome for this, or you could have some sort of long form video like a YouTube, you could be a YouTuber, and you could start to grow some sort of video, which again you could do on LinkedIn as a preset. You could also do a LinkedIn live as a live stream as well. So you can see all of these things are nice, good bits of long form content. So this is how we kind of move people into consideration. And why do I like weekly, right? So there's lots of ways of doing lead generation. If you speak to anybody around lead generation, they'll go, oh, you could have a scorecard, right? Great. You could go spend a load of time, build a lovely scorecard. Once you put someone in that scorecard once and they hit that landing page and decide, oh, I don't really want to do that scorecard. Well, we're growing this audience here. We go, do you want to do our scorecard? Or do you want to go buy my book? Or do you want to download my white paper? Right? The problem is with all of this is you can spend hours, weeks, months, years writing a book. It took me a year to write my first book. Do you want to spend hours creating a scorecard or a big sort of white paper type thing? These things take ages and they're a one and done. You have to go to your audience and you can only say, do you want to buy my book once? And they go, no. And you're like, where do you go from there? They just go back into just being a connection, gathering digital dust on your LinkedIn connections, right? We do not have the opportunity to go back next week and go, okay, so for example, for this, okay, you didn't want to come along to watch me talk about Sales Navigator. Next week, we're going to be talking about Brew 360, the new algorithm change on LinkedIn, which is going to be vital for everybody thinking about LinkedIn in 2026. Do you want to come to that? Oh, yeah, maybe. Oh, after that, we're going to be talking about LinkedIn newsletters, which is the most important thing you should be doing on LinkedIn to generate leads. Do you want to come along to that? You may not want to come to any of those, but in the week after that, we're going to be talking about something else. So it gives me the ability to go back and say, hey, that's cool. I've got another cool free thing coming. I've got another free thing coming. I've got another free thing. And then you can house all that free content that you created within a group, so then it houses within a group and they can join the group and suddenly you've built a community. You've built a place that houses these weekly moments. I know we're going a little bit off topic here on Sales Navigator, but there's a point that I want to make here that actually by having a good list of people here of building awareness, not going straight into your go sales meeting, building out your weekly moment means that you can have a focal point, which is super important. You think about what you're going to do for your marketing strategy for next year. Most people don't do this because having a podcast is hard. Doing an event is hard. Having a newsletter is hard. Doing a video is hard. Having a LinkedIn Live is hard. But one of those, I'm sure, you might think, oh, I prefer to be doing a LinkedIn Live over maybe writing a newsletter. Or actually, I don't like myself on camera, so actually maybe I'll do a podcast. Or actually, I don't like my sound of my voice, so maybe I'll do a newsletter, right? Whichever one appeals to you most, pick one and stay, this magic word that everybody forgets, consistent with it. It's why we call it a weekly moment. Your week, every single week, needs a moment and make it there. Right. Point made, completely non-sales navigator, but I hope that landed, right? So if you put great leads into this, what do you get? You get great sales meetings, which means that people look at your product and they pay you great prices, right? If you put crap in the top, what do you get out the bottom? Well, you don't even get anything out the bottom because they don't buy, right? If you put bad leads and you only get 100 connection requests a week on LinkedIn. You only get these opportunities on LinkedIn to be able to connect with your ideal audience. There's only 100 connection requests you can send safely without getting slapped by LinkedIn per week. And so Sales Navigator will help you to make sure that you put quality through the top. Now, let's jump onto a bit of a demo on LinkedIn. LinkedIn does allow you to do searches. So when we think about doing this and we go back to this strategy and think, well, I want to be sending 100 connection requests a day and I want to be able to DM people to invite them to my content. I want to share my events, etc. It does allow us to do a search, right? And so I can go search for a coach. Say I'm trying to target coaches, and I can do coach. And then across the top here, I can go to this thing called all filters, and we can all do this for free. And I can say I want people who are a second and third degree, i.e., people who are not connected to me already. So I want to find new people. And I can go down here and you can see if they're actively hiring, but you'll see here that there's this gold little dot. That means that I'm only seeing this because I've got premium. Okay, so you won't be able to see this if you don't have premium, but you will be able to see things like locations, right? So I can say, well, I only want people in the UK. And then I want to say, well, actually, what's their current company? Now, most of the time, their current company is a bit of a hard thing to look at because that's a bit too niche. We're going too more specific there. So really, I've got other things like past company. Well, that doesn't really help. But I do, school. That's kind of quite niche. But industry sector is quite good because then I could go in and say, well, business consulting and services. So making sure that I'm not having sports coaches. I'm having coaches within the consultants, business coaches. Maybe their profile language is English, and their service category, maybe coaching and mentoring, right? So that's the about the limit of this, right? What it doesn't allow me to do is what's their revenue? How many employees do they have? Have they posted recently or are they active on LinkedIn? Have they changed roles recently? So there's a lot more potential that we might be thinking to be able to get that quality going through our pipeline to make sure those 100 connections are the best connections we can have. But I can show these results and I can find a list of people, right? So here's my list of people, and I can go through this. Now, if anybody's ever tried to do these searches regularly, you'll find out that after about 3 or 4 different searches, LinkedIn will then say, hey, you've reached your weekly search limit, and it will stop you from doing too many searches. But you can get a search that looks like this. And if you want a super tip, instead of going back and doing the research too many times, just keep this tab open. If you ever want to see what Ali is all about, right click, open her on a new tab, check her out on a new tab, do your connecting on that person, then go back to the main search. That's a super tip to be able to get past the barrier of having to do of not being able to do too many searches on LinkedIn. So that's a super tip to be able to remember doing that, right? Simple, but it's effective. But here's the thing. If I want to try and connect with, say, 20 people a day for 5 days a week, I might go do my 20 connection requests on these people. And then I've got to make a note of having Andy Mags here and either try and keep my browser open until tomorrow when I'm going to go do this again, or go back tomorrow, do this exact search again, and then hopefully it portrays the same list of results starting with the same person, and I can start with Andy, but invariably it never does that. So it's difficult to be able to kind of know where you started and know where you stopped, but you can just continue to try and do this search, right? So it's hands-on and that's how you can work. So it's not a great search and it's a little bit clunky for going back. But if you wanted to go and work this strategy, sending 20 connections a day, you can do that. However, Sales Navigator allows you to do all of the type of searches that you want to do. So if you want to see Sales Navigator, if you don't have it, click on this hexagon type thing here, and you'll be able to see Sales Navigator as a thing down here. If you don't have it, if you do have it, it will have its own little icon top right here called Sales Navigator. Now, Sales Navigator in terms of finding leads, I'll just quickly show you that in terms of searches. You can do something called lead filters and you can have some really cool things. So you can look at things like company headcount, right? So I can work out how big the companies are that I want to be. I can look at things. Look, there's some stuff that I'll roll through here quickly, but I'll just show you some highlights that I like using. You can look at people who've just viewed your profile recently, right? So I can just do that. I could only do that. So I've got 2,000 people here who have just viewed my profile. I could just do that as just the only search, and I can go select them all. And if I wanted to do, I could stick them all into a campaign, or I can start sending them lists, or I can start saving them things, and I'll show you that in a second. But that's cool, right? And actually, I can go and say, well, actually, I want people who have most recently seen my profile, but actually maybe I want only the people who are seniority level owners. So we don't have seniority level in the basic search at all. So I can just say, well, I want only people who are owners or directors that have recently seen my profile. Now I've got 1,000 people. And then if I only wanted to see my coaches, then I could go into industry in here and I could then go and still do the business coaching. So I can filter and filter based upon it. So I've got 360 people who are coaches who are owners. And then I can go, well, actually, I want to only see the people I'm not connected with, right? So if I go connection here, and then I can go second degree connection, third degree connections, right? And if I wanted to group members, it doesn't really matter because the second and third degree connections will cover it. And then I've got 217 people who own businesses within the coaching industry who have viewed my profile recently. That's wicked, right? So these people I should definitely be connecting with. And what I could then do, and so here's the cool part of this, I can then go and send a connection request and send them messages with a specific type of message, right? But if I wanted to be super ninja, I could actually load that into an automated messaging sequence. Now, I recommend, so this is hopefully, I'm going to do more on Sales Navigator in a second, but I just want to show you how you can start to go, here's a wicked search of definitely the people that are going to set my connection request, who I should definitely be talking to. I can create a system where I go and put together a connection message and then a series of messages that then invites them into, say, this weekly moment. And I can do that automatically. And I can create this as a search that auto reloads from Sales Navigator into an automated software that will send the connection request that will then send the message. And the nice thing about this connection request, I can say something like, hey, thanks for jumping and recently seeing my profile. How's things in this crazy world? And then the next message can be, hey, I've got this cool thing that I think you might be interested in, right? So let me show you that. The software that we recommend, and if you want a free trial of this, by the way, I've got a link if you want a free trial. I think it's like a 30-day free trial, which is if you use this link, it gives you a longer free trial. Where's the thing? Here you go. We use Expandy. Why do we use Expandy? Because of this Sales Navigator auto reload thing, which I think is wicked, right? So I've just put that link into there. Just click that link and open it up into a new tab. You can come back to it later. You can use this as a free trial. But we can then go create a search in here and I can go create a add to new search, right? So I can go, I want to have a sales navigator search and I can then go add a URL. So I can go onto sales navigator here and I can go just take this URL at the top of this search that I've just done, which is basically coaches who've recently been on my profile who are second or third degree connections, so people I'm not connected with. I can then load this into a search into this. So I can paste it into here and I can press next. And then I can I can call this, viewed my profile. And then I can auto reload. Look at this, auto reload this search every 7 days. And I can automatically assign it to my campaign, which might be like a connector campaign or a specific campaign that I can create that will be, hey, thanks for recently being on my profile. Love to have a chat with you. And I can change that auto reload to every 3 days because that might be even better. And then I can automatically load anybody in the last 3 days that have been on my profile will automatically go into this campaign, which will send them a connection request, which will send them a message, which will then hit them whilst they're hot. Because otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of them coming onto my profile that are in my target audience if I don't do this? Pretty ninja, right, my friends? And actually, you might go, oh, that sounds really difficult. Well, actually, setting up these campaigns in Expandy is easy, right? I go add new campaign. In fact, actually, what I might do is I might just take my normal connector campaign and I'll duplicate this campaign and I will name this campaign Connect with people who have been on profile. 3 days, duplicate it, I've got some further training on expanding stuff within the group. And then here's my connected campaign, which isn't live yet. And I can just go through the steps. So my first step in my normal connected campaign, which just goes out to a target audience, I say, hi, just a quick hello, how's things in this crazy outside down world? So instead of this, I can say, hi, Bob. Um, um, Thanks for checking out my profile. Just um, thought it would be worth connecting. Um, and then I can remove this just quick hello. How's things is crazy outside in Delmark, right? And that's it. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to have an auto reload of every single time someone comes onto this campaign, it's going to send that. And then if they do still connect, but they don't reply back to me, because as soon as someone replies back to me in 3 days' time, or I can change that to say 1 week's time, or whatever, I can then say, hey, awesome to connect. Just a super quick one. I launched a free coaching group, LinkedIn for Breakfast. You should come along to it, right? And then give a link. And then and then after that, I can then send them in 2 weeks' time. Hey, just thought I'd check in. What's big project you're working on at the moment, right? And the whole point is I can put together this feed of different messages that will automatically go back. And as soon as they reply, then I can actually as soon as they reply, then it stops sending the messages and I can then respond to them normally. Cool. So this stuff is powerful when you start to go 1 + 1 = 17. And it just means that we're removing this away from us. Okay. So how do we then make sure that this list, so that's a ninja way of doing a list. But there's other cool things that we can do. Because if I just go, instead of doing this and I just go on to accounts, I can start to look at things within the account. So if I want to further make this list better, I can actually go, well, I've got company headcount here, but actually I can go annual revenue. And because I help people to get to 1 million in revenue, pounds, I can go, right, it's pounds, and I want people max 500,000 and zero, because those are the sort of people that I can go from some revenue to 1 million in revenue, right? And then I can still find people in the business coaching space, and I can still find people in the UK, right? And I might also think, well, actually, I want to have Ireland. And I might then specifically go, well, actually, I quite like people in Spain, but I don't want to have people who are, they can be Spanish, but I want English speaking people within Spain. So then I can go on to this. So I've got this in place, but then I can go back to lead filter and then I can go profile language and then I can go English. So although I've got Spain as a place that I'm targeting, I've got the people who are in Spain with an English speaking profile, right? So I'm adding all of this in and I'm working these lists. I'm creating a great list, right? And then again, that great list doesn't have to be what we're doing. So at the moment, we've got 790,000 people. That's way too many people for me to actually start working with. So what do I do? Well, I go people who have posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. So look at this. So this is people who have posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. I can switch that on. It takes me down to 83,000. And obviously I can start to tailor this a lot more and things like seniority, etc., and all this sort of stuff. But that's really great because what happens is that will also then auto reload. So I create a great search that looks like this. I filter this down to a few thousand. So I go hyper niche with people just 30 posts on 30 days. And then I add that into an automated connection and messaging campaign that auto reloads. So when someone who hasn't posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days posts, then they will get automatically swept into my connector campaign. Why is that important? Because it means that we're only connecting and messaging people who are actually active on LinkedIn at any given time. So our connection messages percentage goes up. Why is that important? Well, our SSI rating, who's heard of SSI? In the chat, just tell us what SSI stands for. Give us an idea. What is SSI rating? who's going to be the first one there? Hopefully, I am sharing screen, Milan, because if you, as you're saying in the chat, I'm not sharing screens. It's been a very boring session if you haven't seen my screen. Who's got it? Social Selling Index. Milan got there first as well. Well done. So, Social Selling Index. And so, if you don't know what your SSI score is, it's if you just Google SSI, it's a score on four categories that LinkedIn gives you through a social selling index. It's a LinkedIn related score, which is why we should always listen to it. And your percentage connection request. So if you send out 100 connections and you only get 30 people accepting them, that's 30% connection request success rate. That will count towards your SSI. And the higher your connection request success rate, the better and more trusted your account is. And so therefore your score goes up. And things like your reach of your content actually will be affected by a positive SSI score. So super, super important. So why to do a 360 on this is that important? Well, my pedigree chums, is because if we have people that are here for the last 30 days who have been on there and working, they are far more likely to see your connection request. And if your connection request is sympathetic of activity, such as, hey, thanks for jumping on my profile, and I think we should be connected, then it's going to be far more likely. Or you just got a really good list of people and they come onto your profile and your profile is very much tailored to that audience. So you're there saying, oh, I help people to be able to do X, Y, and Z, and they are those type of people, then your connection request success rate was likely to go up. So this is why this is important. Now, there's one more thing I want to be able to show you, which I love around Sales Navigator. So there's two things actually, because one is also just giving a nod towards premium. But the thing about Sales Navigator, which I love here, is also this thing at the front, which is alerts, right? And so alerts are essentially your feed. So if you go onto a normal LinkedIn profile like this, you go onto your home and you look at what your feed looks like. So I've got Lisa, who's my first degree connection here, and she's talking about some stuff here. Then the second thing I see is an ad straight away, right? So I'm being advertised to. So that's one of my connections pieces of content, and there's an ad, right? The next one is now another piece of content from my first degree connection. Great. So that's 2-1 in terms of connection to ad, right? I then scroll down and I've got something here. So now we've got 3-1. So this is my first degree connection with a piece of content. It's great. But now I've got something here from LinkedIn Recruiter that's trying to get me to go and basically upgrade to LinkedIn Recruiter. So now that's 3-2 for non-related stuff. Now here's a promoted post from Havard's people. So now we're back to 3-all. So basically, first degree connections plus ads or promotions, right? And then we scroll down, first degree connection, and they'll probably throw another first degree connection. There you go. So it's 5-3. And now we're going to go job recommendation 5-4, promoted post 5-all. So basically, what this is, it's 50-50. 50% ads or trying to sell you something, 50% your first degree connections content. And it's a complete random amount of connections that are in there. It's completely kind of random, right? It's not the people who I want to target. So what we can do on Sales Navigator is we create lead lists. So we go and take one of these lead filters and actually we then do the search and we save it. So I've got my save leads in here, right? So I can then go down here. Actually, we do a lot of searches on behalf of our clients. So here we go, MDS Oxfordshire. So this is actually one of the searches that my team have done for us. So these are kind of self-employed type of current amount of staff, coach, jobs, level, geography. So this is kind of the level of search that we go. So we also exclude. So we want to have these places, but not these places. So there's different stuff, right? So we've got a nice search in here that we're working on. I can then go and select these people and I go, right, Alan here, he looks like a good person. Colin, okay, let's go after this. We want to go after this person. I can then select those people and I can save them to a list. And I've created a list here called target coaches. So this is a set of target coaches that are not my first degree connections, and I can add them to it. So they've all just been added to it, which is great. You can see it goes to saved here, and these have still got save on here. Then I can go back to home, and I can then go look at my alerts, and I can go lead list, and I can go down to my target coaches lead list, and it will show me the most recent posts by people in my lead list. So 2 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 10 hours ago. And I can go onto here and I can check out Nicholas. And this is Nicholas's most recent post. Awesome, right? And so I can go see that he's gone out onto here. And I can see that he's posted something on here. So what I can do is I can start to be abundant in his world, right? So I can go looks like a great day out. Shame it was Northampton. Better to go to the stoop next time, right? So just for kind of complete explanation, that's me saying that he should go see Harlequins, which is my rugby side, as opposed to Northampton, right? So this is an easy win for me because it's nicely in my kind of frame of my hobby, and so I can post, right? So what I'm doing there is I'm just staying in Nicholas's world here. I've liked his stuff. I've commented. I'm not trying to do anything, but if I wanted to, I could then go on to him. I could click on him, and I could actually work out, well, I'm not connected with him yet. So actually, now's a great time to be able to add a note and go, hi. Sam looks like a great day in Northampton. Um, what, uh, what was the big for you, right? So good. So this is not a message to him. This is a connection request. So how likely do you think it is that he's going to set that connection request? Very, because I've commented. So we call it clam. I know this will help you to kind of remember this, right? So let me just get rid of this. Um, oh, hello. Let me just go here, see if I can grab this and move this. No, it's not letting me. Okay, so clam, which is CLAM. So what I mean by this is it's comment, like, add, and message. So comment, like, add, message. So what's happened here is I've got someone here who's a target who's not connected with me yet, right? I've commented on his post. I've liked his post. I've added him as a connection, and in that connection request, I've also messaged him. So I have clammed Nicholas, for want of a better word, right? And so the likelihood of him accepting that connection request is massive. And also, then he might comment back, and then we'll have a conversation. And before we know it, he then might end up in a meeting with me, right? And then I'd go on and I'd work Rosemary here, and I'd go see what Rosemary's doing, and then I could actually work on a different campaign. If I wanted to, if I wanted to do super quick, I could also create a commenting assistant. This is me going super ninja on ChatGPT, and I could use a custom GPT that I've created. So this is me now going even more ninja. Steady on. I will come up for breath in a second. But I create a lot of these custom GPTs, and I give them out for free for people as well. So if you're not on my AI free AI email list, please do get on it. I'll give you the link for that in a second. In fact, look, Flora, are you able to dig that out? Um, but I've got my social and email voice here, so I've created a GPT that basically is my voice, and I can say, please do a short comment on this. And I can just paste a thing in here because it's my voice and it's put through a particular GPT that I've created. It will create a nice thing like this that I can be pretty sure that it'll be okay with. I'll probably just delete a few of the little dashes, and I can just bang it out here. I don't have to read so much the content, and I can just do commas instead of dashes. Why does ChatGPT still do bloody dashes? Unbelievable. Smart as this, realize there, strategic partners. Um, I might just do the first line. There you go, bam. And then so I've commented, I've liked it, so I've gone insightful, and then I will go because am I already first degree connection with her? No, second. So then I will then go into here and I can then go connect. I can add note. Great post on uh, the EA role. The EA role. Um, um, thought I would reach out and say hi. How's things? There you go. Something like that. I know it's not, look, I might spend a bit more time on that, but I just want to show you how quick this can be done. So you can just go, here's the thing, copy and paste it into a commenter, get a comment, go back, work a comment. I've planned Rosemary now. Likelihood is she'll probably set that connection. We can carry on talking. That'll be, right? So good. That's it. So, oh, Flora, I wanted the LinkedIn, I got an AI newsletter the newsletter. So I've got an AI tools newsletter. We launch a new AI tool every single week. That's worth jumping onto if you're interested in that. Okay, gang. So the last thing I'd say, and then I'm going to open up for questions. Um, it also gives you the premium features on LinkedIn, which are hugely important. What do I mean by premium features? Well, if I go onto my profile, I can have these buttons like visit my website. That's nice on your LinkedIn profile if you've got premium because you get premium as part of having Sales Navigator. But you also means that I can have that visit my website underneath all of my profile. So here you go. I've got my profile, I've got my link here, and I can then that becomes a clickable link. And so when I've got a post like this, oh hello, why has that gone to that? Oh, that's just gone to my website. And when I've got a post that's like this, and I got, let's have a look at the analytics. I can see, so I can see the impressions, the members reach, and then we can see profile views of this, and then link, yeah, so I can say linked engagement and then premium button interactions, and I can see that I've received one person that's gone and clicked to my website from that post. Fine, but obviously this post has only had 400 impressions. If I go and show you a post that's done particularly well, so if I look at impressions and I go out for 365 days, we've had a few posts that have done well. In fact, we've got 1.2 million impressions over the last year on posts. So if I look at something like this, which is my top performing posts, I click on it and I go to the analytics, view analytics, and then I can look at premium button interactions and look, 46 people have gone on and clicked onto that premium button because of that, which is great because obviously that could be 46 people going to a landing page, which we can then convert into leads. Cool. Flora has very kindly put this link in here, which is, oh no, sorry, Flora, I think we're talking cross purposes. I have a landing page to sign up for that LinkedIn AI newsletter. So it's actually just a page to sign up to. I might be able to find it here. AI newsletter. It's not showing me. Do I have CRM? I cleared all my cache the other day, so we'll find it to you, but it's worth it doing it. Good. Right. So that is a whistle-stop tour of Sales Navigator. The benefit of having great content, great lists of people going into your machine. And so therefore, if you've got a machine that works and you want to get the better leads coming through and you find yourself not having good conversations with good people, sometimes it's better to spend the little bit of money. It's an annoying amount of money. It's something between I think I might have a grandfathered rate at 66 quid a month. I think it might be slightly more than that now, but it's it's an annoying amount of money, but it can be worth it. It can be worth it because what's your time worth? Great. So I'm going to open up to questions now. So 99, is it 99 pounds a month, is it, or is it dollars? Is it pounds? That's annoying if it is. Um, Cool. So I'm going to open this up to questions as people go and so maybe unmute and ask your question. Just before you do, I'm going to ask you to do one thing. If you have not booked a free LinkedIn profile audit with one of my team, you're crazy, man. Because these are us sitting down with you one to one to look at how good your LinkedIn profile is, how well is it set up for conversion, do you have things like big headlines? Do you have the right text in this headline space, big banners? Do you have the right sort of call to actions throughout your post? Have you got the right featured posts? Are you even using featured posts? Why should you have a LinkedIn newsletter? Why is it the most important thing to have on your profile? How should you set up your content? How should you set up your experience? How do you get a load of testimonials and recommendations? All of that we will literally go up on screen one on one and show you your exact profile. So here, my friends, is the link to that. Jump onto this. There's, obviously you want to get this reviewed before the end of the year, because we'll be cutting this off soon. You can see there's not many days left, although there is plenty of availability for tomorrow. So please do jump on and get that done. Good. Very good, very good. So Paul Thomas says 669.99 per month if billed annually. So Kat say 94.99 if you're paying monthly. It's annoying. There's only a 7-day trial. I wonder if I can share this. I think I might be able to get people a longer trial, actually. Can I do that? Have I got a present here that I can share? I can get, so if you want, refer via LinkedIn message. Let me share this with you. Who wants this? Where is my share? I've got this on here. Give 2 free months of Sales Navigator. Your connections will get 2 months when they join with your link, and then you revert. So I can send this to people who want to get those 2 free months. So if you're interested, put your name below in the chat, and because I've got to find you, and I've got to then click on it and send it across to you. So Laura, could you make a list of this, please, and then we can then go on and do this referral within Sales Navigator to everybody who is interested. I can only do 10 though, so you all have priority on that. Lovely. Questions? Adam's talking about expandy.io. In what way, Adam? Do you want to unmute yourself and just mention? Sorry, did I say Andy? Adam, I meant.
Can you hear me?
I can, Adam. Yes.
Okay. No, I thought when you were talking about a 30-day trial, I thought you meant Expandy, but that's only 7 days, and it's about £99 a month, I think. So it's quite costly.
Is it through the link that I sent? Does that was that 7 days on that link?
It was, but maybe I screwed up by fishing around looking for pricing and stuff like that. So maybe I got.
Do you want me to resend the link? Last time it might be a here's the link. In that 7 days, you can get the lists working, have a good play with it. So do have a play with that. It may be that they've changed it, but honestly, it's ninja. It does really, really help. So I would wholeheartedly recommend it. And it's also they specialize in making sure your account stays safe, so it mimics human behavior. So that's also, I've never had a problem personally with that at all. Great. So questions other than kind of pricing. What other questions do we have?
What's a good SSI score and what's yours?
Right. Okay. So let's have a look. See, they mess around with SSI score, so I'm not sure how good mine is at the moment. We shall find out. Sometimes you do this. I think it's something like, yeah, I did this before and it went to a weird page that says, it's like Google are indexing the, you seem to go onto That's SSI. There you go. Perfect. So it's LinkedIn /sales /SSI. So mine is 66, which actually is low because it used to be 75. So I'm not sure. It looks like this. Identify better prospects in less time using efficient search and research tools. Well, that just flies in the face of what I was saying. Because oh no, hang on. I thought that was my lowest. Actually, that's not too bad. 21. I'm on that because the explanation's below the bar. Um, Engage with insights. So that's what's put all the way down. Discover and share conversation worthy updates to create and grow relationships. Yeah, it's difficult, right? That's harsh. Like as I say, I've had 1.2 million people see my content this year, and they still give me a 13. So, it's I'm not sure. But it is. Do you know what the lovely thing about this is? Is that people can't bullshit the SSI. The SSI is your SSI. It is what it is. So you can see what percentage you are in terms of your industry, where you are in your network, people you're connected with, people in your network. On average, people in my network have a 48 SSI. So I rank in the top 7%. So I'm not sure how good that is. I'm sure people on here have got better SSIs than me, but this is a good score to start working upon and try and moving. And actually, strangely, Expandy has that in the analytics part of its dashboard. So it will show you, so it shows you your kind of how many follow-ups and connections you're receiving, but it also has your SSI. And actually, look, I'm gone down the percent, and so then it gives you some tips on how to boost your SSI. And actually, I think this is just a blog. So here you go. Look, I think I can probably just share this with you. Here we go. So let me paste this into the chat. Well, it's a long link because obviously I'm coming within my dashboard. In fact, actually, if you want an easier link, I can just get rid of everything after that. I'm sure you can get onto it through that link. If you can't get on that link, then let me know. But yeah, so this will give you a how to boost your SSI. And I'm sure these guys are great. I know Stefan here, he's a good lad. And so there'll be different explanations on how to be able to help that. So yeah, good. Hang on, Keith's come in. Go on, where are you, Keith? He's got a screenshot. 69. There you go. See, drops the mic. I love it. Well, there you go. Keith, does Keith win the prize? Who's got better than 69? 61 from Milan. Congratulations. 70, Sonny. He's there. Bosh. Yeah, I love it. Well done, gang. Well done. So 56 for Adam, but it's for I'm with you on that one, my friends. I'm not happy with mine. I'm gonna have to go out and get more. Further questions. What have we got, gang? I'm happy to stick around for another couple of minutes or so. Who's got some further questions wants to ask them? Gordon Brown's 54.
Tina had her hand up, Richard.
Just fire. Just unmute and go for it.
Yeah, hello, Richard. And everybody, I promise this isn't a plant, but I had my LinkedIn assessment the other day and spoke to Jay. There's lots of things going to be happening with my LinkedIn, but one of the things I just wanted to establish, all the wonderful things you've shown on Sales Navigator, and thank you very much for giving us the benefit of your expertise. Is this all included when in the done for you? They are already trained in all of this, aren't they? Do they understand the VAs that you get allocated?
Yeah, so our VAs, so how we work when we're actually doing lead generation for our clients is that we'll give someone a VA. They work 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, £5 an hour, super cheap, gives you a UK success manager plus an offshore VA, same time zone. So that's how we work. So it kind of works out to be 100 quid a week. Super great support for that. What we do is that we do a scrape from LinkedIn Sales Navigator. We then move that into Expandy, and we can then extract that as a spreadsheet, right? And so instead of you paying for Sales Navigator and also Expandy, so like that would equate to the best part of 200 quid a month. You actually could just spend double that and have a VA working half a day for you, right? So about 400 quid a month, £100 a week. You would have a VA working for you. They would be doing connection requests, messaging, creating content, doing your DMing, sorting out your messaging board. So we do all of that. And how we do that is that we take that data and we put it into a sheet. So the sheet will look like this, which would be us going and taking, and this is just demo emails in here, so it's not an actual sheet. And we would take this list, would scrape all the profile links of all the targets that you're going to, which we've done in the Sales Navigator stage. We'd get their emails, their phone numbers, and then we would send them a set of 3 emails introducing you and your business over 14 days. And then we'd also send them connection requests and messaging, and that would span over connection requests. So everybody, once they do connect, we'd send them 5 LinkedIn messages over the course of about 2.5 months. And obviously, if they reply, then we pursue that conversation on your behalf. Obviously, if this gets complicated, we need your help, we'll ask you, but usually it's just a nice back and forth. And if they book a meeting with you, they go green. If they say, if we're in conversation with them, they go amber. And if they say no, thank you, they go to gray. And so we just work an outreach spreadsheet like this. So this is really nice. So it means that we put quality into spreadsheet, but we also then save you on the need to actually have these premium tools. Plus, over and above this, we're actually creating a daily piece of content for you. For example, we're sending out polls, we're creating LinkedIn newsletters, we're reviewing and updating your entire LinkedIn profile, we're doing customer win posts and testimonial posts, and we're basically giving you a daily content heartbeat for your LinkedIn, an outreach strategy, and we're helping you put your weekly moment together and filling it if it's an event, or getting subscribers if it's a newsletter, or getting downloads if it's a podcast. And we can help with the graphics, the editing of that as well. And some people just want us to have like a video editor, or some people want us just to have a podcast editor, and then we just make sure we get the right skills in our VAs for that. So we see ourselves as being better than the Philippines, less expensive than the Philippines, and also we put all of my strategies into this, and also give you a UK Success Manager, all within that £5 an hour price. So
fabulous. Thank you very much. Thank you for that, Richard. And thanks for all, all the stuff that you give away. It's really inspiring and fabulous. So yeah, great.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
You allowed me to go full on pitch then. So I do appreciate
I
you.
promise it wasn't a plant. It's a true request. I have to go, but thank you so much. I have another meeting. But thank you, Richard. Bye-bye.
Before you guys go, I'm going to close the meeting here. I'm going to share with you an info pack. Now, on this info pack, it's all the spaces on the Black Friday offer are gone, right? So you can't have it, but it will tell you here about our offer. And basically in January, February, March, you'll have that exact offer going forward for January, February, March. So you'll know what it's all about. You obviously can't get the Black Friday part of it, but you'll understand a little bit about that VA offering. So if you're interested, then message me back. So it's the links there at the bottom for you. Now, right, my friends, I'm going to close down this room. If you're a $1 Million Sprint, please jump back in because I'm going to close the room, and then I'm going to open up the drop-in clinic room for you to be able to jump into. But if you're linked in for breakfast, big love, take care. Next week, we're talking about Brew 360, the big algorithm change. So be there or be square-shaped. Big love, gang. Thanks again.